Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It feels good I can say that again properly without devastating effects, knowing that football is dying. We've managed to save it for now. As I've said, we've won the battle, not the war. We will see what happens, but we can finally focus on football again. We can finally focus on matches and not have the distraction that we had with the Chelsea-Brighton game. We were distracted. The players were distracted. Everyone was distracted. No one knew what the hell was going on. And yeah, now we get to focus on this game. West Ham versus Chelsea. This is your match preview. Before we get into it though, I want to let you guys know today's video has been sponsored and brought to you by the OneFootball app. As you can see right here, you get all your latest news, your latest match schedules, your fixtures, results, your team news, your player news, your statistics, anything you want to know about not just domestic competitions, but European competitions, worldwide competitions, national teams, all clubs, anything you need is in this app. So make sure you hit the link in the description below, download the OneFootball app, enjoy it as much as I do, and honestly, you'll have a lot of fun using it. Everything you need in the football world on one app is right there for you available. So download the OneFootball app, link in the description. Now, let's get into this preview because I'm glad to say and happy to say I'm a lot more excited about this game than I was the Chelsea-Brighton game. We were all going into the Chelsea-Brighton game just not knowing what was going to happen. I mean, I even trolled you guys with the lineup. And not trolled you guys. I made fun of the situation. I basically put out a subpar lineup just to give minutes to players that don't play. Because, you know, what's the point? There's no top four. There's no Champions League next season. There's no Premier League next season. What's the point? Well, we finally have all of that back. It's now clarified. Obviously, as I've mentioned, we've only just won the battle. We haven't won the war. There is still things we need to do, including UEFA's ridiculous Swiss 2024 format, which I'm very happy to say Gundogan of Manchester City has come online and spoken against it. Jurgen Klopp in his press conference earlier today went against it. So there is now a bit of momentum against the Champions League format that UEFA are trying to impose for 2024. We need to keep that going. There needs to be talk of reform. There needs to be talk of possible regulations coming in to make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen again. So it's going well. But for now, we can focus on our football again. And we can focus on getting top four. This game, West Ham versus Chelsea, is huge. It's huge. It's so huge for both teams. Not just for one. Normally, Chelsea play, for example, like we did against Brighton. And if we weren't all distracted, that would have been a big game looking at it going, we need the 3 points. We need the 3 points. Well, for this game, West Ham need the 3 points. Chelsea need the 3 points. It's a final. It's pretty much like a final. Whoever loses this, I would say, are going to be quite damaged. Quite damaged in terms of reaching the top four. Whoever comes out of this with 3 points has a big advantage. And I'll let you guys know why. Let me show you the Premier League table as it currently stands. This is the Premier League table. So we have Chelsea in fourth. Let me just say, Leicester in third. 4 points ahead. They beat West Brom yesterday very convincingly. But they're 4 points ahead. Chelsea in fourth on 55 points. West Ham in fifth on 55 points as well. So the same amount of points. Tottenham and Liverpool just both behind. 2 points behind on 53 points. And then you look at Everton, who still have a game to play. If they win that, then they end up 1 point behind Tottenham and Liverpool. And it's all to play for. If Everton were to win that game, the gap between Everton and Chelsea, who are fourth, would be 3 points. So you have 5 teams competing for one spot. It's absolutely unbelievable. This is going to go down to the wire. And we have to acknowledge that after this game is played, there's only 5 games remaining. 5 games remaining. I do believe this is going to go to the final day. If I'm predicting, I'm giving you a prediction. When will top 4 be settled? I think it's going to the final day because there are 5 teams in the mix. 5. Chelsea, West Ham, Tottenham, Liverpool and Everton if they win their game in hand. So it's going to be absolutely just magnificent. Honestly magnificent for the neutral, for fans that aren't involved in terms of their teams, and even for all of us involved. It's going to go down to the wire. And that's why tomorrow is key. It's key. Chelsea, we have to win. We have to win. If we don't, we are damaged. We are damaged. And then it would really be looking like we would have to repeat 2012 by winning the Champions League instead of getting top 4. It's as simple as that. Now, in terms of team news, Thomas Tuchel's come out and mentioned that everyone's fit except for one. Mateo Kovacic will be missing the first leg of the Madrid game as well. So Real Madrid away, he will not be there for. He will be injured. Apparently, he could come back for the Fulham game, which is in between the 2 ties against Real Madrid. So we'll see what happens with Kovacic. Hopefully, he comes back sooner rather than later. But apart from him, everyone else is fit. So when we're talking in terms of the lineup and who should be playing, I think we can't make a judgment on any player based on the Brighton game, because that Brighton game was absolutely ridiculous. Let's just have it right. You could see no one's head was in the game. Even Tuchel admitted in the press conference earlier today that he went into that game completely distracted. So I'm just going to write that Brighton game off. I'm just going to put that to the side and not make any judgment whatsoever. We start fresh. Put that under the rug, we start fresh and we look at the players that we reckon can get the best out of this situation and the players that are going to get a job done against West Ham. So let's dive into the starting 11. Which starting 11 should Thomas Tuchel go with? Let's get into it. So, we start off with, now bearing in mind Kepa was the one that played the last couple of games, and rightfully so, Thomas Tuchel mentioned in his press conference that he was rewarded with a game against Brighton because he's just been doing well and he hasn't conceded and he's been training really, really well. So he deserves a game and he got it against Brighton, fair play, but there is confirmation already that Edouard Mendy will be starting this game. Tuchel mentioned it, Mendy will start, so expect Mendy on the starting lineup. We move into the back 3. And for me, it has to be Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger. No questions about it. We saw Zuma feature. I just think it's safe to say that our back 3 right now is safest when it has Azpilicueta at right centre-back, when it has Thiago Silva, and when it has Antonio Rudiger. Now, you could argue for Thiago Silva, because with Christensen, we've looked really good as well. But whoever plays between the two, and now we have an option, I would go with Thiago Silva, though. It's getting to a very drastic part of the season now where experience is going to be key. I would understand if Christensen plays and Silva is saved for the Real Madrid games. I would understand that because you don't want him to play too many games. So I will understand if Christensen plays tomorrow and I'll be happy with that. But personally, I see Thiago Silva cutting out for the game tomorrow and for Real Madrid first leg away. I think he will be able to do that. So for me, he starts in that back 3. Azpilicueta, who has managed to get some rest as well, so that's really good to see, and hopefully he puts on a good performance. We move into the left wing back position, and for me it's got to be Ben Chilwell. We saw Alonso feature against Brighton. He, in fairness, didn't do much, but I'm not going to even judge him on that. I'm not going to judge any player, as I've said, on that Brighton game. Everyone was distracted. But I just feel you have a certain amount of resilience with Ben Chilwell. And if there is, a chance that he has a bad game tomorrow or he's not playing well at all, we can bring on Alonso. Because for me, Alonso going forward can possess a massive threat. If Chilwell can play like he's been playing before the Super League became a whole thing, we saw he had some very good games. Specifically, even the Manchester City semi-final. I think Chilwell can do a good job going forward and he's proven that he can do that. So I reckon he needs to be in the team. The defensive stability he brings is fantastic. Likewise for Reece James, who needs to be playing at right wing back. Defensive stability, someone that can bomb forward and contribute. But both of them, Chilwell and Reece James, they have this thing when they're going forward. They hesitate a little bit. They tend to go sideways or they tend to go backwards and not as forward playing as an Alonso, as a Hudson-Odoi. Specifically with Hudson-Odoi, we know he is an attacking player, so I would understand that. But for me, I think if Reece James and Chilwell can just sort that part of their game out, they can be really, really, really nicely well-rounded players and nice, well-rounded fullbacks and wingbacks. So I reckon Reece James needs to be in this one just to provide some defensive stability. We need that, and we need to make sure we don't concede. We move into the middle of the park, the double pivot. For me, Jorginho needs to return into this team, and alongside N'Golo Kante. Look, Jorginho, well, not return, he played the last game, but Jorginho alongside Kante, that needs to come back. In the absence of Kovacic, he won't be there. Kante didn't feature in our last game against Brighton, so I'm expecting him to be fully rested, ready to go, and for them to have something going on. It was a tactical mistake, I think, to have Mason Mount come deep and play alongside Jorginho against Brighton. You nullify the intensity up the pitch, you know, and we need that. Jorginho needs to have someone that he can combine with too and understands his game, and vice versa. Kante has a level of chemistry with Jorginho, so for me, he needs to be in that starting 11 alongside Jorginho. So Kante is the man to go to. Now we move to the front three. I'm doing this based on gut instinct because there are players there that I think deserve to play, but we can't play all of them. So my gut instinct is telling me to go with Christian Pulisic and Mason Mount as the two behind the leading man up top, who I'm going to come to. Pulisic, because he has been in very good form. And form is something that can carry on. Form is something we need right now. The game against Brighton, as I said, we can't make any judgments. But before that, Pulisic has been absolutely fantastic. Even the Manchester City semi-final, he was class. Alongside him, Mason Mount. Mason Mount is in the starting 11. We need that physicality and that intensity, that press. Alongside the way that he is able to combine and assist in terms of creating chances and maybe even scoring goals himself. We need that presence. And Mason Mount, as direct as he is going to help us. Pulisic, for me, just deserves. Now, you could argue Ziyech deserves to be in the team. Absolutely. Maybe even Kai Havertz in that position. Absolutely. You know, Hudson-Odoi perhaps. But I think form right now counts, and Pulisic would be the man to go to alongside Mason Mount. And up top, this is where it's tough because some of you probably advocate for Kai Havertz. And I hear that. But I think tomorrow, as much as I want to say, I'm not confident that he'll score. But when he plays, he contributes, he plays well, and I just hope he scores. Timo Werner. His speed, his pace is a factor that has managed to convince me to put him in the team tomorrow. Mainly his speed and mainly his presence up top, where when we're trying to press or counter-press or win the ball back, he's very good at that. In terms of being able to launch a counter-attack and get around defenders, he's very good at that. He's very good at everything except putting the ball in the net. You know, and I just hope maybe tomorrow he'll have that. But if he doesn't, maybe if Kai Havertz is the man starting tomorrow, I won't be against it. I'll be fine with that. And frankly, Thomas Tuchel's proven whatever 11 he goes with, it works. Except for the Brighton game. So let's not make too much judgment. But look, that would be the 11 that I think he needs to go with. That's my personal opinion. But let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear it. But regardless of what 11 he puts on the pitch, I think it will be good enough. Much like he proved against Manchester City in the semi-final, there's always a team that can get a job done under Thomas Tuchel. So we'll see what he goes with. But that would be my starting 11. In terms of a score prediction. Now, this is where it's going to get tasty. And I have to be honest with you guys. I'm worried. Tomorrow. I'm worried. West Ham are no mugs. Now, West Ham are going to have a couple of players missing, including Declan Rice, who will not be featuring. So it does help us. They have a few lads that are out. So when you look at that, who has the advantage? Normally, we would have the advantage. But I tell you, we need to press and have intensity from the get-go. We cannot give West Ham enough room to breathe. It's as simple as that. Just like we done against Crystal Palace. Immediately start hitting them, and hopefully the players will be fully focused and we can put on a very good performance from minute 1 until minute 90. But in terms of a score prediction, I'm gonna be real with you guys. My heart is telling me Chelsea will win 2-1, and my head is telling me it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And frankly, a draw is not a good result. It's not a good result, albeit we could still remain fourth if we draw, because West Ham will be behind us, Tottenham and Liverpool will be 3 points behind us, but if they both win their games, we could see a situation, if we draw, where Chelsea, West Ham, Tottenham, Liverpool are all on the same points, with 5 games remaining. It will be chaos. It would be chaos. We need to win tomorrow. It will be a big boost, and we cannot forget, we've got to play Manchester City, we've got to play Arsenal, we've got to play Leicester, we've got to play Aston Villa, who have dipped off, but they're still a good team. We need to win tomorrow. It's a winnable game. We have to. There's no option. So we'll see what happens. I will see all of you tomorrow on the watch along. So make sure you are there and joining me to watch the game. And hopefully we can together celebrate 3 points and a foothold on keeping the claw on top 4. Fingers crossed we can do that. Make sure you smash the like button if you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to download the OneFootball app. That link is in the description. Go over there now and download. Much appreciated, and enjoy. I will see all of you tomorrow for the watch along, and then after that the match review. But I'll see you on the watch along. Have a good one. Look after yourself. See you tomorrow. Take care and peace.